Hello there, commanders, and welcome back to National Cup. We are in round 2, match 2, battle 2 between Russia and Poland. Poland still winless, looking to secure the first victory in the entire tournament. And definitely after the previous battle, Russia showed very good prowess, just flexing on the Polish team, really, with a full melee composition. Here we are. Now they have picked ranged composition. Both teams have opted to pick archers plus repeating crossbows. Let's remove the fog of war so that we can see the Polish team's deployment. We are possibly looking here at ranged duel. Yep, archers versus archers, supported by the repeating crossbows for the Polish team. The repeating crossbows for the Russian team are over here on the hillside, where Polish team has only sent foxes. Oh, that is a very bad matchup for them, as they do suffer quite a lot of damage from the repeating crossbows, and so they do from Hannibal, or those are pretty fast. That is definitely not Leonidas, probably Hannibal Spearman. But let's see here, the main fight is going to happen over here in the Oasis side. So both teams exchanging volleys, but the Russians have a huge advantage because they are inside the tall grass. Although Polish team did manage to land a hand in the brief moment that they must have spotted those Russian archers. But now there is infantry inside Polish ranged units. Polish team failed to stop them, or the Rangers just straight up run into them. So now they're going to be forced to go back to heal. And that still leaves the Russian archers able to provide a lot of pressure onto the repeating crossbows that are also being forced to retreat. So very well played there by Russians, or rather just misplayed by the Polish team. But the Polish team does have melee force advantage. They can find a round over here, but they don't really are going to do that. They're already pushing or trying to push on top of the point. We'll see if they will be stopped by the Russians. Russians also using that, find that they are being pushed back to go back and heal up and ready for another round of defense. But as there only are Folksmen, now supported by some Barbarian and Roman infantry, or just Roman infantry here on the E flank, but they're still not doing too well. The repeating crossbows are definitely helping to deal with that heavy infantry. Killing them one by one, and there we go. Point is being captured. Now the Polish foxes have managed to get on top, but it's still only one unit. Killing zone reinforcements are going to be denied, so pike phalanx is going to stand there and not allow for the reinforcements to come into point E, and that should be captured anytime soon. C also unlocks in 10 seconds, will be captured by Russia if anything doesn't change. And the Polish team has managed to get on top of a 3 units versus 1. That is a possibility that this unit is going to rout. It is Hannibal, so the termination is available to prolong the period of not being able to be routed. The Polish team is trying to find flanks, but the Russian spears are maneuvering in such a way that they are not really allowing for the flanks to happen. And the Polish team even decides against it. They're just going straight onto the healing zone, trying to deny any reinforcements. Polish archers are now going to be sent into the capture zone itself, but they're getting wrecked by another barrage from the Russian archers that are just now being spotted. So the Polish archers are going to respond, but they're much later on that trade, so they are going to lose it, even though they do have their melee support. Leaving the tall grass there wasn't the smartest idea. Now the Russians have reinforced the point. They even managed to rout one of the units in a 1v1. Well, Warcry does definitely help, as this is Scipio infantry. So reflank plus Warcry is routed, has routed one of the Polish units. Now the Polish team is going to deny the healing zone. The archers were a little bit faster and managed to heal up, but nobody else will be able to heal. So the Polish may be able to grab A. E obviously has been captured in the meantime, and the Russians are slowly looking to get inside the Polish team's base, but the Polish are able to respond with repeating crossbows and Foxmen of their own. So instead the Russians are going to go slightly towards C with their forces and just trying to scout around the area, as they obviously do not see each other at this point. The Russians are also sending huge reinforcements from their base towards A, as the Polish team still didn't manage to capture it. They are sending another 3 units of reinforcements but they simply don't have enough of the front lines over here. Yeah, the healing zone is being denied, but more units from the Russian base that are full HP are getting inside point A, and the Polish team's resupply lines are quite stretched out as well, and it takes quite a long time for them to heal up and go back into the front lines. But for Russians, it is going to be made extremely easy anytime soon, as they are almost, well, they have almost gotten rid of the Polish units on top of their healing zone. There we go, one of the units got shattered, another one is being routed. There we go, and now the Russians do have access to healing, which means the Polish team is not going to take A. So Russians are very far ahead in this match, controlling 4 points out of 5. Having a little bit of a skirmish here between the Foxes, but Foxes aren't really going to achieve anything other than just a little bit of a cheap damage here onto the pikes, but they're definitely not getting on top of E, which is what they need to do. They need to start contesting points, they need to try to capture something. What I imagine the Polish team is going to try to do is they're going to go back and heal over here on D, and either try pushing A again or try to fight for C, but they definitely need to go and attack and do something, otherwise they're just going to slowly lose, as the Russian team is getting 6 times more points than the Polish team, and looking very strong, and even threatening the Polish base to be captured. So there is a stalemate over here, 6 units for the Polish team inside the base, also 6-7 units for the Russians in this area. They're also ready to push from C, but I think they're just chilling and maybe wondering what the hell is the Polish team doing, as they're just not really being pressured anywhere. But now the Polish team has decided to finally start another push from D to A, but the Russian team is also there in force, able to respond. Polish repeating crosses are here, able to shoot that Hannibal spear blob, but it is being answered by Russian archer pressure of their own. But they do not see the repeating crossbow, so that's advantage for the Polish team. But now that the Russian infantry is going to sneak through to the tall grass, they will be able to spot the repeating crossbows, but the archers are not in a position to really punish that. So as long as it is being stopped by the Polish infantry, which it does, it is going to be okay. But the Russians actually seem to be in an advantage here, as they keep pushing towards D, trying to get all 5 points for themselves. The Polish team now is launching a counterattack towards E. Foxmen almost getting through. They did manage to catch half of the unit. Now hamstring is going to be used, slowing down 2 of the units, and the Foxmen will be able to inflict some damage on the repeating crossbows. Now the Russian infantry arrives and will be able to save the repeating crossbows from suffering any more further damage. And here there are more equal exchanges. Pikemen are going to be put on the healing zone behind the base, so if anybody wants to start recalling after the Russians start to capturing the base, they'll run straight into pikes. The repeating crossbows selling a short quick volley straight into the faces of the Foxmen before they get to them, and now they're just ignoring them and shooting a different unit. So Polish did get on top of E. The only unit that is stopping them from getting it right now are the repeating crossbows, but Russian reinforcements of the infantry are in the area, and there's really no way Polish team is going to get E. Indeed, we still have more or less equal engagement, just front line and exchanging HP bars between each other. Archers support their present for the Russians, as the repeating crossbows are now being forced back out of the tall grass. So as long as the Russians control the entire tall grass, repeating crossbows are going to have a really hard time, as they do need to work around with this vision to be able to stand against archers. They will get healed up. Polish team is going to stop the Russians from denying the heal zone, and the Russians now need to hurry up if they want to capture D. We'll see if the Polish team is going to respond anything here. The Foxman player has died over here on E. The only thing left contesting E is 1 unit of melee infantry. The Russians losing one of their units over here near the Polish base, and still just kind of chilling on C. Well, Polish team did put 1 pikes over here, but it's not even on top of the point, so the Russians can still just chill until anything happens with those pikes. And now the Russians are launching an attack onto D, but the Polish team has managed to heal up. The Foxmen are also here respawning. Polish team is trying to put everything literally on this one flank, trying to maybe push from D to A, and then maybe threaten the Russian bases. The Russians are already 2,000 points towards the victory, to Polish just 580. But as soon as the Polish even try to attempt capturing A and then capturing the base, Russians are, well, they are already on top of the healing zone at their base. One of the players have recalled there and runs straight to pikes. And now finally the Russians will get inside the Polish base. They're healing up, respawning more units over here on E, but will be able to go inside the base as well. The units from C could also go to the base, but they're just gonna chill over here. But one of them is going to go to the base, one of them is maybe to try to attack D from the flank. Polish team is now pushing forward. They're not realizing what is going on. They are not aware of the threat that the Russian can put up onto the base. I mean, they're here in a huge advantage and yet they're still losing, so they may feel like the Russian team is in huge numbers over here, but that is a miscalculation. They're just so good over here. And well, Polish team, well, now they definitely do realize what is going on. 3 units of the Russian team are capping their base. Do we see any recalls? Not really. They're not really interested in defending their own base. I mean, the front lines are being engaged mostly. Well, they charged forward, so obviously they are. So that's on them really. And well, the ranged units could have fall back, but if they do, they run straight into an embrace of one pike soldier. So there we go. Now's your time, Polish team, to recall, as the pike unit has been removed from the healing zone. They are going to do 1 player. That is not going to be enough. Russians have already captured 25% of your base, more or less, maybe even 33%, with 5 units and more incoming. I would just put that pike unit, to be honest, inside the base instead of trying to go back and heal, because by the time it does, the battle will be over, either by just Russia getting 3,500 points or just capping the base. So really now the race isn't a base race or a, you know, an equal match that can be either won by Polish or Russia. It's whether the Russian wins by base capture or by the points getting to 3,500 points. Now that is the most exciting thing happening in this match, as the Polish are getting absolutely wrecked. There we go, they're trying to get 2 more units. There we go, they got it. So 6 versus 3 inside the base. We'll see if they will be able to stop the capture of the base before that happens. Another 1 unit trying to get in, but blocked by the Russian infantry, but that opens the path for the next one. But it has already been cut down to 50% HP by the repeating crossbows. 1 or 2 more volleys and that unit should be gone, as it doesn't have access to the pseudo, as it is just poor Sula. 3 more units now of Volksmen respawning inside the base, and now we have 7 vs 5, 7 vs 4 inside the base, but the base has already been captured like 80% through, but the Russian team is also only 400 points away from victory. And with 6 units per second, that is going to go quite fast. Now 6 versus 6, 6 versus 7, so the Polish team is now in numbers advantage inside the base, 7 versus 7. So the base capture is not going to go either up or down at the current state. 1 more Polish unit could make it inside the base, but decides against it. They say 7 versus 7 is okay enough. We are just going to give the Russians the victory by points. And the Russians are still chilling, like, okay, 1 unit inside of C versus 2 of the Polish team. The Polish team could potentially stop the capture by just taking C and taking E, but obviously they do not have forces anywhere in the area. I mean, C, sure, but definitely not E. They're being pushed back at A as well. The Russians have absolutely obliterated them over there. Still 7 versus 7 inside the base. But the repeating crossbows are working uptime. This unit is about to be routed, possibly. 23 units, soldiers left. Some of the units over here being cut down as well. So we'll see if the Russians will be able to bring the capture forward. 8 versus 7, so now the capture will start progressing again ever so slightly. 2 units over here almost routed. This unit is going to whip itself into routing actually, without even being flanked. Other one being flanked as well. So 8 versus 4, 8 versus 3. The Russian team is finally clearing the Polish units that have respawned, and it is getting close, but ever so slightly the Russians win by achieving 3,500 points. It is absolutely flexing on the Polish team. Well, next week we are going to have the last match of the second round, Spain versus France. Both teams have lost in the previous round, so now one of them is obviously definitely going to pick up some points. Either is going to be a tie or a victory for one of the teams, but one of them is definitely not going to be at 0 points anymore. Maybe none of them if they tie. But that's next week. In the meantime, you can help us bring Total Wargame back to the West. But until then, I'll see you on Arena's Battlefields, Commanders.